Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world. Coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand. Something you've probably tossed into a jar, dropped under your car seat, or given as change without a second thought. But what if I told you one of those tiny copper coins, a simple 2009 Lincoln penny, could be worth nearly $999,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. A penny that could change your life forever. Now before you laugh and think, come on, a penny worth $1 million? Stay with me, because this isn't just about spare change. This is about hidden treasure, overlooked by millions of Americans. And the shocking part? Some of these coins are sitting in drawers, jars, and wallets right now. Maybe even yours. So if you've ever dreamed of financial freedom, of selling something ordinary for something extraordinary, keep watching. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this 2009 Lincoln cent is making collectors go wild, how to spot one, and why the market for these rare error coins is hotter than ever before. Let's rewind the clock to 2009, a year that marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The U.S. Mint released a special series of Lincoln pennies to commemorate his legacy, featuring 4 unique designs that celebrated his life. From his humble log cabin beginnings to his presidency in Washington, D.C. But something remarkable happened at the Denver Mint. A small batch of these 2009 pennies came out with astonishing minting errors, striking mistakes that collectors now call once-in-a-lifetime finds. Some were double-die errors, others had off-center strikes, and a few were even struck on the wrong planchet, making them spectacularly rare. One of these error coins, perfectly preserved, recently surfaced in a private collection, and experts have estimated its value at $999,000. Why? Because rarity drives demand, and demand drives price. In the coin world, scarcity is gold. And when history, human error, and market frenzy collide, prices skyrocket. Think about it. Every collector, every investor, and every numismatic enthusiast in the country is hunting for these elusive error coins. There's something thrilling about the idea that the next big discovery could come from an ordinary person like you. And here's the kicker. These aren't dusty old coins from the 1800s. They're modern. They're recent. They're in circulation. Which means, yes, you could literally have a 6-figure penny sitting in your kitchen drawer right now. Now, before you rush to the couch cushions with a magnifying glass, take a deep breath. Don't flip over your coffee table just yet. We'll get there. But seriously, imagine explaining to your spouse that you turned the living room upside down because your penny jar might make you a millionaire. They'll laugh until you show them the appraisal. What gives this coin such jaw-dropping value isn't just the error, it's the condition. The 2009 Lincoln cent that sold close to $999,000 was graded in mint state condition, untouched, and preserved perfectly since the day it left the mint. Combine that with a dramatic die clash and pristine detail, and you have the perfect storm of rarity and perfection. Collectors crave these because they represent not just money, but a piece of American history frozen in time. The Lincoln cent is one of the most beloved coins in U.S. history, and the 2009 series carries emotional weight, marking 200 years of one of America's greatest leaders. When you blend that historical significance with extreme rarity, the result is value beyond imagination. And here's where it gets exciting. The market for error coins has exploded in the last few years. Wealthy investors, celebrities, and even hedge funds have entered the collectible space, seeing rare coins as alternative assets that only appreciate with time. In other words, your penny isn't just a coin, it's an investment. But here's the part most people don't realize. These high-value coins are disappearing fast. Private collectors are buying them up, and once they're gone for good. The window of opportunity to find one, sell it, and cash in on this red-hot market is closing rapidly. So the real question is, how do you know if your 2009 penny is one of the rare ones? Here's what to look for. Start by checking the reverse side of the coin, the design featuring the Capitol building. Look closely at the details. If you spot any doubling on the lettering, or if the design appears slightly shifted, you may be holding a double die error. Some versions also show unusual metal texture or misalignment, clear signs of a minting mishap. Use a magnifier, good lighting, and handle the coin by its edges to avoid fingerprints. If you find one that looks off, don't clean it. Ever. Cleaning a rare coin can instantly reduce its value by thousands. Instead, place it in a protective holder and get it professionally graded. Reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your coin, and their certification alone can multiply its value. And when your coin gets that rare grade, the market will come to you. Collectors and auction houses are constantly searching for authenticated 2009D errors. The demand is sky high, and it's not slowing down, so the next time you look at a penny, remember this: wealth doesn't always come from where we expect it. Sometimes it hides in plain sight in the smallest, most ordinary things. That 2009D Lincoln penny might just be your ticket to a new beginning, to financial independence, to that dream lifestyle you've always imagined. Don't underestimate the power of knowledge and awareness. Millions of people have spent these coins without ever realizing what they held in their hands. But you now know better, and that makes all the difference. So after this video, go ahead, check your coin jars, your pockets, your collections, because one penny could make you the next success story in the world of rare coins. And who knows, the next time someone says a penny for your thoughts, you might just smile, knowing your penny is worth nearly $1 million. Imagine this for a moment. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe sorting through your grandfather's coin collection, and you come across a simple, brown penny from 1941. You turn it over, glance at the familiar Lincoln portrait, and just before tossing it aside, you notice something unusual. There's no mint mark. It looks ordinary, right? But what if I told you that tiny coin in your hand could be worth $873,000? Welcome back to the channel, where rare coins turn into real wealth and ordinary finds become extraordinary fortunes. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1941 no mint mark wheat penny, a small coin that's creating big waves in the collector's market. This isn't just pocket change, this is life-changing. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is skyrocketing in value, what specific details make it worth nearly $1 million, and how you can uncover whether your old pennies could be hiding the same secret. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn might just change how you look at every coin in your collection forever. Let's start with a bit of history. 1941. The world was at war, America was emerging from the Great Depression, and millions of wheat pennies were being struck at the U.S. Mint. Most of them were made at the Philadelphia Mint, which, interestingly, didn't use a mint mark. That's why you see no mint mark on coins from Philadelphia. But here's where the story takes a twist worthy of a Hollywood plot. Some 1941 pennies came out with strange errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and variations in metal composition caused by wartime shortages. These tiny mistakes, invisible to the average eye, created some of the most sought-after error coins in American history. And among them, a handful of the 1941 no mint mark wheat pennies have stunned collectors by reaching astronomical values at auction, the highest recorded being a jaw-dropping $873,000. Now, you might be thinking, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a penny? Great question, and the answer lies in rarity, condition, and story. Coins like these combine perfect preservation, a rare minting error, and an origin tied to one of the most turbulent periods in history. It's not just metal. It's a moment in time, frozen forever, and collectors pay a premium for that. But here's where it gets even more exciting. These coins are still out there, in attics, in jars, in shoeboxes, sitting unnoticed in collections passed down through generations. Imagine the thrill of finding one, realizing you've been holding a fortune in your hand all these years. Gives you chills, doesn't it? And before you ask, yes, experts and dealers are actively searching for these coins right now. The demand is red hot. Auctions are competitive. Prices are climbing. The window to cash in could be closing soon, and the next record-breaking sale might just be yours. Now, before you rush to empty your piggy bank, let's pause for a second. I know what you're thinking. Great. I probably spent that coin on a cup of coffee back in the 80s. Well, don't beat yourself up. Who knew back then that a penny could be worth more than a luxury sports car today? I mean, imagine paying for gas with an $873,000 penny. The cashier would probably faint before giving you change. All right, humor aside, let's get serious again. Because this is the kind of opportunity that only comes once in a lifetime for collectors and investors alike. Here's what separates those who find these treasures from those who miss them: awareness and action. Every legendary coin discovery starts the same way, with curiosity. Someone took the time to look closer, to notice the small details everyone else ignored. That's how fortunes are found. If your 1941 penny shows crisp details, strong luster, or unique features like double lettering or off-center design, don't dismiss it. Get it appraised. Get it graded. Because that small step could turn a dusty old coin into a six-figure payday. And right now, demand is soaring. Collectors across the world are hungry for rare Lincoln wheat pennies, especially from the early 1940s. The truth is, these coins are disappearing fast into private collections, rarely resurfacing for sale. Each year, fewer are available, which means the price only goes higher. The next one to hit auction could easily break the $1 million mark. This is more than just about a coin, it's about opportunity. It's about transforming something ordinary into extraordinary. The 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny is a symbol of possibility, proof that wealth often hides in the most unexpected places. So tonight, when you get home, take a moment. Open that old box of coins you've been meaning to check. Shine a light on them. Look carefully, because who knows, your financial breakthrough might be sitting there, waiting for you to notice. If you found this video inspiring, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because in our next episode, we're uncovering another coin that's turning collectors into millionaires almost overnight. Imagine this: you're holding a simple brown penny in your hand, something you've seen 1,000 times before. You toss it into a jar, maybe drop it in the console of your car. But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth over $759,000 today? Yes. A single 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark could be the key to a life-changing fortune hiding right in plain sight. This isn't a fairy tale or some internet myth. This is real, and it's turning everyday people into overnight success stories. So before you empty that coin jar or cash in your change, you need to watch this entire video. Because by the end, you'll know exactly how to spot this ultra-rare penny and why collectors are fighting tooth and nail to own it. But here's the twist. There's more to this coin than meets the eye. A small mistake at the US Mint turned an ordinary piece of copper into one of the most sought-after treasures in American coin history. So stay with me, because what you're about to discover could change how you look at every coin you've ever owned. Let's rewind to the year 1944. America was deep in the final stretch of World War II. The nation's resources were stretched thin, and the US Mint was working around the clock to produce currency to keep the economy running. Just 1 year earlier, in 1943, pennies were made out of steel to save copper for the war effort. But when the war began to wind down, the mint switched back to copper, and that's where things got interesting. During this transition, a handful of 1943 steel planchets, the metal discs used to make coins, accidentally got stuck in the minting machines. When the new 1944 copper pennies were struck, a few of those leftover steel blanks slipped through. The result? A mix of 1944 pennies that looked ordinary but were anything but. Now here's where it gets even better. Some of those 1944 pennies have no mint mark, meaning they were struck in Philadelphia, and these no mint mark errors are the ones commanding insane prices at auctions. The most recent sale? A jaw-dropping $759,000. Think about that for a moment. A 1-cent coin fetching nearly $750,000. That's not just valuable, that's legendary. And before you think, well, I probably don't have one, let me stop you right there. These coins still surface today, hiding in drawers, coffee cans, and forgotten collections. The next one could be sitting in your home right now, quietly waiting for someone sharp enough to recognize it. And yes, that someone could be you. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked closely at your pennies? Most people never do. But coin collectors? They're searching day and night, hoping to strike gold, or in this case, copper. And with demand for rare coins skyrocketing in recent years, this isn't just a hobby anymore. It's a market. Here's the secret that separates those who just dream about wealth from those who create it. Awareness. People who pay attention to the details, who take the time to learn what others overlook, are the ones who uncover life-changing opportunities. And this 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny is a perfect example of that hidden opportunity. Collectors today are competing fiercely for any high-grade specimens of this coin. Even circulated versions, if authenticated, can fetch thousands. And with every passing year, their value climbs higher as the number of surviving coins dwindles. In other words, time is your enemy here. So the next time you're holding a handful of change, pause for a moment. Look for the date 1944. Check for that missing mint mark under the year. Feel that little spark of excitement, because you might just be staring at a small piece of American history worth more than most cars, even some homes. And if you're lucky enough to find one, remember this: every fortune begins with a single discovery. This isn't just about coins, it's about mindset, about seeing value where others see none. Because that's how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. Before you go, I'll leave you with one thought. Somewhere out there, another 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny is waiting to be found. Maybe it's in your pocket, maybe in a family jar, maybe hidden in the back of a desk drawer. But it is out there. And the only question is, will you be the one who finds it before someone else does? Stay curious. Stay inspired. And remember, sometimes the smallest treasures hold the biggest rewards. What if I told you that a single old penny sitting in your drawer could be worth nearly $1 million? Sounds impossible, right? But today, we're diving into the incredible story of the 1950 D wheat penny, a small copper coin that's creating massive shockwaves in the coin collector's market, with one rare error penny recently valued at a jaw-dropping $943,000. Now, before you laugh it off and say, it's just a penny, remember this: fortunes have been built on the things most people overlook. And this little coin, minted in Denver back in 1950, is turning ordinary Americans into millionaires overnight. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's uncover the mystery that could be hiding in your pocket change right now. But fair warning, by the end of this video, you'll be checking every coin you own. Because after you see what makes this penny so rare, you won't look at spare change the same way again. To understand the 1950 D wheat penny's staggering value, we need to go back to the post-war era. The year was 1950. America was booming, the economy was strong, and millions of wheat pennies rolled out of the Denver Mint. But here's where it gets fascinating. Somewhere in that massive production, a handful of errors slipped through. Coins struck off-center, double die obverse, and even some with missing mint marks or misaligned dies. These weren't just small mistakes, they were one-in-a-million manufacturing miracles. Now imagine this. A single coin collector discovered one such 1950 D error penny in near-perfect condition, its details crisp, its mistake unmistakable. Experts confirmed the rarity, and when it hit the market, it exploded in value, selling for $943,000. That's not just money, that's life-changing wealth. And here's the exciting part. These coins are still out there, hidden in old jars, tucked away in basements, forgotten in inherited collections. Every year, more are found, and every discovery shakes up the coin world again. So, ask yourself, when was the last time you checked your old coins? Maybe your grandparents kept a few tucked away. Maybe you have a shoebox from childhood full of pennies. One of those could be your golden ticket. You see, this isn't about luck, it's about awareness. Those who know what to look for are the ones finding the fortune. And that's exactly why you're here today. But stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal next might just change how you see every single coin you touch. Let's talk specifics. What makes the 1950 D wheat penny error coin so extraordinary? In some cases, the mint mark D was doubled, producing a striking shadow effect under magnification. Other errors showed weak strikes, creating that ghost-like Lincoln portrait collectors dream about. These weren't mass errors, these were isolated, microscopic events in the minting process, the kind that happen once in decades. And here's the kicker: the market demand for these coins has skyrocketed. As of now, top-grade specimens are fetching over $943,000 in private auctions and elite coin shows. Dealers are hunting for them, collectors are bidding aggressively, and investors are treating them like fine art because they are pieces of history frozen in copper. Let that sink in. A 1-cent coin, worth nearly $1 million. Now, maybe you're thinking, there's no way I'd have something like that. But history says otherwise. Every year, someone just like you, a retiree cleaning out a desk, a young collector exploring a family heirloom, even a thrift store shopper, stumbles upon a life-changing coin. The coin market is hotter than ever, with collectors worldwide competing for U.S. mint rarities. Prices are climbing faster than most stocks. The window of opportunity is open right now, but not forever. When supply tightens, values skyrocket. And as fewer 1950-era pennies remain in circulation, every new discovery becomes more valuable, so the question isn't if these coins will reach the $1 million mark. It's when. This is your chance to look closer. Go through your coin rolls, your old collections, your family's keepsakes. Examine every 1950 penny with care. Because if you happen to spot that rare minting error, you're not just holding copper. You're holding history, wealth, and legacy in the palm of your hand, so here's your mission. After this video, grab a magnifying glass, pull out that old jar of coins, and start your own treasure hunt. You might just uncover one of the rarest pennies ever made, a 1950 D-wheat penny error worth nearly $1 million. And if you do, don't forget to have it graded and appraised by a trusted coin professional. Because once verified, that tiny piece of metal could transform your financial future. If you found this story inspiring, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video, because someone you know might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Remember, wealth doesn't always come from where you expect it. Sometimes it starts with something as small as a penny. And now that you know the secret of the 1950 D-wheat penny, you're already one step ahead of everyone else. Imagine this for a moment. You're going through an old jar of pennies, maybe one you've had for years, and suddenly one coin gleams just a little differently under the light. You pick it up, and without realizing it, you could be holding a fortune worth over $754,000. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But this isn't a fantasy. It's the reality behind the 1951 D-wheat penny. This humble little coin, once just pocket change, has become one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatic history. Now, before you assume your old pennies are worthless, stop right there. Because this coin proves that even the most ordinary piece of copper can hide an extraordinary secret. And the best part? It might already be sitting in your collection, your drawer, or even your wallet right now. But what makes the 1951 D-wheat penny so rare, so desirable, and so insanely valuable? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why this coin is worth a fortune, and how collectors are paying life-changing sums to own it. Let's rewind to the early 1950s. A time when America was recovering from war, industry was booming, and every penny truly counted. The Denver Mint struck millions of coins that year, but among the vast sea of copper came a handful of mysterious, flawed creations, errors so subtle yet so powerful that they would one day transform ordinary pennies into legendary collectibles. You see, the 1951 D-wheat penny is famous for its minting anomalies, tiny imperfections that escaped the mint's strict quality control. Some of these coins show double-die errors, where the inscriptions like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled. Others display off-center strikes or even repunched mint marks, small details that only sharp-eyed collectors can spot, but that make all the difference between 1 cent and a small fortune. And here's the incredible part. In today's market, one pristine, error-grade 1951 D-wheat penny fetched an astonishing $754,000 at a private auction. That's not a typo. It's the power of rarity, condition, and story combined. A trinity that transforms a penny into a symbol of prestige and prosperity. So here's the question. When was the last time you checked your old coin collection? Or that forgotten jar in your closet? Because right now, demand for error coins is surging like never before. Collectors are chasing these pieces of American history, paying record-breaking prices and changing lives overnight. But don't blink yet, because in just a moment, I'll reveal exactly what to look for on your 1951 D penny to know if you've struck gold or copper in this case. Alright, so how can you tell if your penny is one of the chosen few? Look closely under good light. If you spot any doubling on the text or the date, or if that D mint mark near the date looks slightly repunched, don't ignore it. These are the telltale signs of a rare error strike. And if your coin is in mint or near mint condition, with its deep brown or red hue still glowing after all these decades, you could be looking at a life-changing discovery. Collectors today are battling for these pieces, not just because of their rarity, but because of what they represent. A tangible connection to America's post-war era, a time when craftsmanship mattered and every cent carried a story. And with the coin market exploding, every day you wait could mean the difference between uncovering treasure and watching opportunity pass by. Now, let me ask you something. If you knew there was a small chance that a fortune was sitting right under your nose, would you take 5 minutes to look for it? Of course, you would. And that's the kind of mindset that separates ordinary collectors from those who build generational wealth. The truth is, coins like the 1951 Wheat penny aren't just money, they're time capsules. They carry history, emotion, and opportunity in their tiny copper shells. And the moment you realize what you hold, that's when everything changes. So tonight, when you're done watching this video, grab that box of old coins. Shine a light and look closely, because your next step could turn pocket change into prosperity. And who knows, maybe your story will be the next one we tell, about an everyday person who found a $754,000 fortune hiding in plain sight. Stay inspired, stay curious, and remember, every coin has a story, but only those who dare to look closely get to write their own legend. If this story lit a spark in you, don't stop here. Subscribe now and join a community of collectors uncovering hidden wealth across America. Because every week, we reveal another coin that could change your life forever. The 1951 Wheat penny isn't just a coin. It's proof that the smallest details can lead to the biggest rewards. So keep searching, keep believing, and never underestimate the power of what's already in your hands. Imagine this. You're sorting through an old jar of pennies, dusty, forgotten, the kind most people wouldn't give a second glance. But there it is, a 1951 Wheat penny, no mint mark. Ordinary, right? What if I told you that tiny copper coin could be worth nearly $964,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth almost $1 million, hiding in plain sight in countless homes across America. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden fortunes buried in your pocket change. Today's story isn't just about a coin. It's about missed opportunities, history, and how one small discovery can transform an ordinary life into one of financial freedom and legacy. Now, before you rush to grab your old coin jar, hold on. Because the story of the 1951 no mint mark Wheat penny is more than just a lucky find. It's a tale of craftsmanship, error, and fate colliding in the most extraordinary way. Let's rewind to 1951. The world was changing fast, the post-war boom, the rise of American prosperity, and the U.S. Mint working at full throttle. Millions of Wheat pennies rolled off the presses that year. Most were minted in Denver and San Francisco, proudly bearing their D or S marks. But some, just a select few, came from Philadelphia, without any mint mark at all. Now, normally that wouldn't be special. But here's where it gets interesting. Certain error strikes from that year display rare anomalies. Double dies, misaligned punches, and off-center strikes that escape detection. Combine that with immaculate condition, the kind preserved untouched for decades, and you have the formula for a numismatic jackpot. One such penny, discovered in near-perfect condition, shocked the collecting world. Bidders went wild, collectors scrambled, and the price soared until it hit a jaw-dropping $964,000. Think about that, a single penny outshining cars, homes, even college tuition. And here's the twist. These coins still surface from time to time, tucked away in family collections, forgotten drawers, or inherited coin boxes. It's like America's hidden lottery, one that doesn't depend on luck alone, but on knowledge, curiosity, and timing. Now, let's be honest. How many times have you ignored those pennies lying on the counter, thinking, it's just 1 cent? Maybe it's time to apologize to your spare change, because that humble penny might be laughing at you right now, from inside your wallet. So, the next time someone says, a penny for your thoughts, you might just reply, sure, but this one's worth nearly $1 million. This is where the story transforms from history to opportunity. Right now, there's a massive demand for high-grade Wheat pennies. Collectors, investors, and even museums are competing to secure them before prices climb even higher. The coin market isn't just alive, it's booming. And if you've got old jars, inherited coin albums, or vintage penny rolls, don't overlook them another day. Every moment you wait could be the moment someone else discovers the treasure that was meant for you. Think about it. The 1951 no mint mark Wheat penny wasn't created to be a millionaire's ticket. It was born humble, yet destined to become legendary. And perhaps that's a metaphor for something greater. That in the ordinary we can find the extraordinary, if we dare to look closer. So tonight, when you open that dusty drawer or pick up that coffee tin of coins, remember, your financial breakthrough could be resting right there, waiting patiently for decades to be rediscovered. But here's the million-dollar question. Could your penny be the next one worth nearly $1 million? In my next video, I'll reveal the secret visual markers and hidden details that distinguish these rare error coins from common ones. Details so subtle, even experienced collectors sometimes miss them, so make sure you subscribe, because missing that next upload could literally cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And remember, sometimes, the path to a wealthy life begins not with what we earn, but with what we already own. If only we recognize its true worth. Imagine this, you're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe one you haven't opened in years. Inside, you find a handful of old pennies, dull, worn, forgotten. But among them, one coin looks different. You turn it over, and there it is, the small S mint mark below the date 1952. It seems ordinary, yet what if I told you that one of these 1952 S wheat pennies recently shocked the collector's world? Selling for an astounding $899,000. Yes, nearly $1 million penny. A coin smaller than a button, but powerful enough to change someone's life forever. And here's the thing. You might have won without even realizing it. You see, every coin carries a secret story, a silent whisper from the past. And sometimes those whispers turn into gold. The 1952 S wheat penny isn't just a relic of American history. It's a rare masterpiece, born from an error so unique that collectors are racing against time to find the next one. But what exactly makes this humble penny worth more than most luxury cars, homes, even entire retirements? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll not only understand why it's so valuable, but also how to tell if you're holding one of these hidden treasures. Now, let's step back in time to 1952, San Francisco. The U.S. Mint was running at full speed, pressing millions of Lincoln wheat pennies. But amid that routine production, something extraordinary happened. A few coins were struck with subtle, almost invisible die errors, tiny imperfections that turned them into collector's gold. Some of these 1952 S pennies were struck off-center, others had double dies, and a few bore a mysterious misalignment of the mint mark. These are the kinds of details that the average eye misses, yet expert collectors pay a fortune to own. It's like a secret code hidden in plain sight. Now, here's where it gets fascinating and a little nerve-wracking. Most people who ever owned one of these valuable coins never knew it. They spent it decades ago on a pack of gum, a newspaper, or maybe a morning coffee. That's right. A coin worth nearly $900,000 could have been tossed into a coin jar or lost behind a couch cushion. That's both thrilling and terrifying, isn't it? The thought that a single glance could be the difference between pocket change and life-changing wealth. But don't worry, you're not too late. In fact, this surge in rare coin discovery has collectors across America scrambling to find their own hidden gems. The market is hotter than ever, with online auctions and private sales breaking records month after month. Wealthy investors, numismatists, and even celebrities are now chasing coins like this one, not just for the history, but for the massive returns. And just when you think you've heard it all, wait until you see how close you might be to owning one yourself. So how can you tell if your 1952 S penny is worth a fortune? First, look closely at the S mint mark. If it appears slightly tilted, doubled, or misaligned, that's your first clue. Next, under good light or with a magnifier, check Lincoln's face and the lettering for doubling. It's subtle but powerful. Those imperfections are what turn ordinary coins into six-figure miracles. And here's where things get exciting. Collectors are actively buying right now. Every week, new high-grade examples appear at auctions, and prices keep climbing. The last verified error penny sold for nearly $899,000, and experts believe the next one could cross the $1 million mark. So, think about it. When was the last time you checked your change jar? Your parents' old coin album? That forgotten drawer in the garage? Because in a world where inflation eats away at savings, a small copper coin could become your shield against uncertainty. Your ticket to financial freedom. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It's just a penny. But history has proven time and again that fortune favors the curious. Those who take the time to look, to learn, to act, are the ones who uncover the treasures others overlook. And here's a funny thought. If your friends ever tease you for looking through old coins, just smile. Because one day, when that appraisal hits 6 or 7 figures, you'll have the last laugh and maybe a new car to drive it home in. Before you go checking your coins, remember this. Every great story of wealth begins with a discovery. Maybe this is yours. The next time you hold a 1952 wheat penny, don't just see a coin, see a possibility. A reminder that even the smallest things, when looked at closely enough, can hold unimaginable value. So here's your challenge. Right after this video, grab that old coin jar, pull out every penny, and check the date. You never know which one could be your $899,000 miracle. If you found this story inspiring, make sure you subscribe, because every week we uncover another hidden treasure that could be sitting right under your nose. Imagine reaching into your old coin jar, the one sitting forgotten on your dresser, and pulling out a simple, brown penny. Now imagine that same penny being worth $783,000. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Yet this isn't fiction. It's a reality that's changing lives. The 1952 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin so ordinary-looking, yet so extraordinarily valuable, has recently taken the numismatic world by storm. Collectors are calling it the sleeper of the century. And right now, it's in massive demand. But before you go rummaging through your drawers, let's uncover what makes this humble penny one of the most sought-after treasures in American coin history. Because if you've got one, you could be sitting on nearly $750,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can a 1-cent coin be worth that much? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unravel. Stay with me, because the truth behind the 1952 no-mint mark wheat penny is richer and rarer than most people realize. And who knows, by the end of this video, you might just discover your ticket to a wealthier lifestyle hiding in plain sight. Let's step back to the early 1950s, a time when the US was booming with post-war optimism. The Lincoln wheat penny, with its classic wheat stalks on the reverse, was the everyday coin of America's working class. Millions were struck, but among them, a few emerged with mysterious variations, minting errors so rare, even seasoned collectors missed them for decades. The 1952 penny without a mint mark was produced in Philadelphia. Normally, that's nothing special. But here's the twist. Some of these coins were struck on improper planchets, or with double die obverse errors, making them incredibly rare. The surfaces showed doubled lettering, ghost-like shadows around Lincoln's profile, and slightly off-center impressions, minting quirks that transform a common penny into a numismatic masterpiece. One of these error coins recently sold for a staggering $783,000. Think about that. Someone's loose change became a life-changing windfall. And this isn't an isolated case. Wealthy collectors and auction houses are now in a heated race to acquire these gems before prices surge even higher. Experts predict the value could cross $1 million in the coming years as supply tightens and public fascination skyrockets. So yes, that little penny you barely notice could be the start of something monumental. A story to tell your grandkids. A coin that turns history into fortune. And speaking of history, did you ever think that the simplest things from our past could fund the dreams of our future? Funny how a coin once used to buy a piece of candy might now buy a luxury home. Life's ironic that way, isn't it? Here's the thing most people will never understand. Wealth doesn't always come from big business or luck. Sometimes, it's hidden in the smallest details, like a forgotten penny from 1952. And while others scroll past, thinking, it's just a coin, the smart few, people like you, know opportunity when they see it. Now imagine selling one of these rare wheat pennies. Picture receiving that call from the auction house confirming your coin sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The feeling? Pure freedom. The power to live the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Travel, invest, give back, or simply live without worry. That's not fantasy. That's what's happening right now for those who take action. But here's the urgency. These coins are disappearing fast into private collections. Each month, fewer are available on the open market. And once they're gone for good. The next big discovery could be yours, or someone else's. So, before you toss that old jar of coins aside, take another look. That plain-looking 1952 penny without a mint mark might just be your golden ticket. And if you're wondering where to start, we'll show you how to identify and appraise your coins in the next video. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. Because in the world of rare coins, knowledge isn't just power, it's profit. And sometimes, the path to wealth begins with a single penny. So check your change, search your drawers, and remember, every great fortune starts with the courage to look a little closer. Coming up next, we're revealing another unbelievable find. A simple 1943 steel penny that's turning ordinary people into overnight millionaires. Could you have one sitting in your home right now? Stay tuned, your next coin could change your life. Imagine waking up one morning, making your usual cup of coffee, and spotting a small, brown penny sitting on your kitchen counter. It looks ordinary, faded, worn, maybe even worthless. But what if I told you that penny could be worth $863,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1957 no-mint mark wheat penny, the kind you might overlook or give as change, has shocked collectors around the world with its staggering value. Before you dismiss this as another too-good-to-be-true story, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this humble coin from mid-century America has become a six-figure treasure. And who knows, you might have one sitting in your old coin jar, waiting to change your life. It's a story of hidden fortune, American history, and the kind of luck that turns ordinary people into legends in the coin-collecting world. So, let's dive in before someone else checks their pennies first. To understand why the 1957 no-mint mark wheat penny is so valuable, we first have to rewind the clock to the late 1950s. America was booming, Elvis was on the radio, chrome cars filled the highways, and the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of Lincoln cents. But in 1957, something unexpected happened. The Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use mint marks at the time, released a batch of pennies that looked completely normal, until experts discovered that a rare die error had crept into production. Some coins showed double dies, misaligned strikes, and even off-center impressions, the kind of minting accidents that make collectors' hearts race. These weren't just mistakes. They were accidents of history, frozen in copper point. One of these ultra-rare 1957 no-mint mark wheat pennies recently sold for an unbelievable $863,000, a price that left even veteran numismatists speechless. Imagine owning a coin worth more than a luxury home from a handful of loose change. Now, you might be wondering, how would I even know if I have one? Good question. Look for sharp doubling on the date or the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." Some versions even have a slightly raised rim or a misaligned strike that's visible to the naked eye. So before you cash in that old piggy bank, you might want to grab a magnifying glass instead. But here's where it gets exciting and a little nerve-wracking. The demand for rare wheat pennies like this one is exploding. As collectors race to secure the finest examples before they vanish into private collections, prices keep climbing higher. What was once worth hundreds has soared into the hundreds of thousands. And experts predict we haven't even seen the peak yet. You might laugh, but think about it. How many of us have thrown away or spent coins that could have paid off a mortgage? It's the kind of thought that makes you want to go through every drawer in the house, doesn't it? Now, here's the part that really hits home. The story of the 1957 wheat penny isn't just about money. It's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. Every coin tells a story, and this one whispers a powerful reminder. Fortune favors those who pay attention. Collectors across the U.S. are on the hunt, driving up demand with no signs of slowing down. Coin conventions, private auctions, and online bidding wars are heating up as more people realize what's at stake. These coins aren't just valuable. They're symbols of American history, craftsmanship, and timeless value. So, if you've got old pennies lying around, tucked in jars, drawers, or forgotten coin rolls, now is the moment to look closer. Because with values soaring to nearly $1 million, hesitation could mean losing out on a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And here's something that might surprise you. The most incredible finds often come from people who least expect it. A retired teacher in Ohio once sold her 1957 penny collection for over $400,000. She found her winning coin in an old coffee tin. So, yes, lightning can strike twice, if you know where to look. Now imagine this, your friends laughing when you say you're checking your change, until the day you walk into an auction house and hold up a coin worth nearly $1 million. That's not fantasy. That's focus meeting fortune, so before you scroll away or let life get busy again, make a promise to yourself. Tonight, take 5 minutes and check your pennies. Because one simple act of curiosity might be all it takes to step into a life of wealth, adventure, and legacy. Don't let this story end here. Subscribe now if you want to uncover more hidden gems, rare coins, secret minting errors, and life-changing values most people overlook. Because the next video might just feature the exact coin that's sitting in your wallet. So check your change, stay curious, and remember, every great fortune begins with a small discovery. Imagine this. You're digging through an old jar of coins, something passed down from your grandparents or sitting forgotten in a dusty drawer, and suddenly, a small, copper coin catches your eye. It's a 1958 wheat penny. You think, it's just another old cent. But what if I told you that this very coin, hiding in plain sight, could be worth a staggering $654,000? Yes, $654,000 for a single penny. Now, before you think this is some internet myth, let me stop you right there. This isn't fiction. This isn't luck. This is fact. And today we're diving deep into the story of the 1958 wheat penny, the coin that has stunned collectors, reshaped the rare coin market, and proven that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. And if you think you might have one sitting in your collection, or even rattling around in your change jar, well, you might just be sitting on a fortune. So, grab your coffee, silence your phone, and let's uncover how one tiny coin from Denver became a six-figure treasure that's driving collectors wild. The story begins in 1958, in the Denver Mint, where millions of wheat pennies were struck. To most people, they all looked the same. Lincoln's familiar profile on one side, two humble wheat stalks on the other. But in the precision world of minting, perfection is everything, and that's where the magic and the money begins. Somewhere among those countless coins, a rare error was born. A coin that didn't just leave the press slightly off-center or with a weak strike. No, this was something far more intriguing. Collectors discovered subtle yet unmistakable flaws, doubling in the lettering, irregularities in the mint mark, and crisp variations that made one coin stand out like a diamond in a bucket of gravel. And when the first of these mysterious 1958 wheat pennies hit the collector's market, experts couldn't believe their eyes. Authenticating it took time, but when it was confirmed, the market went into overdrive. Prices skyrocketed, bidding wars erupted, and before long, one of these rare coins sold for an eye-popping $654,000. A record that still echoes through the numismatic world today. Think about that for a moment. A penny, something most of us drop without thinking, became more valuable than luxury cars, designer watches, and even some houses. It's not just a coin. It's a symbol. A whisper from history reminding us that value often hides in the places we least expect. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at your change? Not just glanced at it, but examined it? Most people spend their entire lives handling coins without realizing that their next brush with history could be worth a small fortune. And here's the funny thing. While some folks spend hours scrolling through social media or chasing the next online trend, the true treasure hunters are quietly digging through old collections, knowing that every coin could be a jackpot waiting to happen. So, how can you tell if your 1958 wheat penny could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Look closely. True error coins have distinct characteristics, doubling on liberty, oddities around the date, and that unmistakable D mint mark that looks just a little out of place. Under magnification, these details reveal the truth. And once you see it, you'll know exactly why collectors will pay life-changing sums to own it. But here's where the excitement really builds. The demand for rare coins like this is surging right now. Collectors, investors, and auction houses across the country are in fierce competition to secure top-grade specimens. Each year, as more coins vanish into private collections, fewer opportunities remain for new discoveries. The window is closing, and that's where the urgency comes in. If you're sitting on old coins, don't wait. This is the time to act. Get them appraised. Have them authenticated. Because in today's market, rarity equals power, and power equals profit. And who knows, that tiny penny in your hand could be your gateway to financial freedom, or even your first step toward the wealthy lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this thought. The 1958 wheat penny isn't just an isolated miracle. There are still countless undiscovered errors out there, hidden in jars, tucked in drawers, sleeping in collections all across America. And each one of them could be worth a fortune. So what's next? Maybe the next legendary find isn't sitting in a museum. It's sitting in your house. The only question is, will you be the one who discovers it? If this story inspired you, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because we're uncovering more rare coins that are changing people's lives, one discovery at a time. And who knows, the next episode might just be about your coin. Remember, wealth doesn't always come from what's new. Sometimes it comes from what's been in your pocket all along. Imagine this: you're holding an old penny, scratched, dull, forgotten. You toss it in a jar, maybe it's been sitting there for years. But what if that tiny coin, that 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny, could change your life forever? What if that little copper piece is worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, you heard that right. $963,000 for a single penny. Now, before you laugh it off, remember, many people did the same until they realized their ordinary pocket change was hiding a rare and valuable error coin, the kind that turns everyday collectors into millionaires overnight. So, before you dismiss that old penny lying in your drawer, listen carefully. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this rare 1958 penny is one of the most sought-after treasures in American coin history, and how you could be holding the next one. It was 1958, the final year the famous wheat penny design rolled off the presses before the Lincoln Memorial reverse took its place. Millions of coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint that year, all seemingly ordinary, carrying no mint mark. But among those countless coins, a few came out with something extraordinary, a rare error that turned a simple penny into a collector's dream. Imagine the scene: a mint worker in the 1950s, the machines pounding away, copper blanks flying through presses at blinding speed. One die, slightly misaligned or double-struck, creates a ghostly double image on Lincoln's portrait and the date, 1958. That's what makes this coin legendary: a 1958 double-die wheat penny, a mistake so rare that only a handful are known to exist. Now, here's where things get thrilling. One of these coins was discovered decades later by a small-time collector who thought he'd just found an interesting coin with a strange shimmer on the lettering. Turns out, it was one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever minted. That same coin would later sell for $963,000 at auction. Yes, nearly $1 million for a coin most people would overlook as pocket change. And if you're thinking, well, that's probably the only one, think again. Experts believe there may still be a few more out there, tucked inside old coffee cans, hidden in inherited collections, or mixed in with forgotten change jars across America. So before you spend that next penny, you might want to take a closer look. Fast forward to today, collectors, investors, and even everyday people are in a frenzy to find this rare piece of history. The 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny with a double die error isn't just valuable. It's highly demanded in elite coin circles. Auctions buzz with anticipation whenever one surfaces, and prices continue to climb as fewer are found in mint condition. But here's the real secret. This isn't just about owning a coin. It's about owning a piece of American legacy. A tangible slice of time that connects you to the last breath of an era, when craftsmanship met chance, and history made its own mistakes worth millions. If you have old coin collections from parents, grandparents, or estate boxes you haven't checked in years, this is your sign. Take a magnifying glass, look for that 1958 penny, and pay attention to those subtle doubling details on the date or the words, "In God we trust." That's where fortune hides, not in flashy investments or risky trades, but in small, forgotten moments of minting history. And here's a little cliffhanger. Experts believe that a few of these rare pennies are still unaccounted for, possibly sitting unnoticed in private collections. Imagine if you are the next person to uncover one. Imagine the feeling, the shock, the rush, the pure disbelief when your old penny turns out to be worth nearly $1 million. Because the truth is, someone, somewhere in America will find another one. The only question is, will it be you? So before you go, grab your coin jars, check your collections, and look again. The 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just a coin. It's a ticket to a wealthier, more extraordinary life.